Yeah.
And then that happens.
Yeah.
And by the grace of God, he survived, because, I mean, I couldn't imagine what would have happened. But it's like, yeah, it was that close. And it's like, this dangerous work. And it's like, you're out at a landfill, and it's like, man, that dude was this far. And the other thing that the doctor told him was, so there was like a cement platform that he happened to not be standing on. So when the tractor went over him, it did bury him a little bit.
Wow.
So his legs didn't explode, but his bones sure as hell did.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah.
Wow. Well, there's a lot of lessons in that.
Yeah, but I remember thinking, I was young. I mean, I'm not like I'm old now, but like I remember being like, I'm not equipped for this. And I'm sitting in the hospital room, and his lawyer's standing there, and they're like, what? They're asking me about these, like, what's your workman's comp and all this shit. And I'm just like, I was so unequipped, but at the same time, I was like, man, you can talk about Google ads and your average job and like this and that, but it's like, in the end, it does come down to people.
Yeah.
And it's like, a person can make or break your business, even if it's not your fault. And it's like, that was one of the hardest things I ever dealt with. And it had nothing to do with a customer. It had nothing to do with profit and loss. It had everything to do with a person. And it's like, that was a big lesson learned, even though I never did any, like, there's nothing. The only thing he could have done was just keep his head on a swivel and be like, you never know what idiot's behind but they also put a guy in a tractor and a loader on his first day all by himself.
I don't fault your worker for anything.
Yeah.
He was trying to get the tools, because I gotta tell you, I've paid for a lot of tools that just got mashed down because it got tipped out, wheelbarrows, freaking, you name it, garbage bins.
But I'll tell people that sometimes. I'm like, I had a guy get hit by a bulldozer, and they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, he got hit by a bulldozer. I can't say it any clearer. He was ran over by a fucking bulldozer. Excuse my French.
No, man, that's wow.
Yeah.
All right, I want to talk about now insurance, based on that story, because I have.
Talk about it.
No. Just bear with me here, because I get that question all the time from guys who are starting up, and they're like, do I really need insurance? Like, can I just go out there and do it?
Tell them that story.
I will now, for sure. And or they're like, if I hire people, like, do I have to pay? It seems expensive. And I'm like, I mean, you don't have to do anything you don't want to, but your life will be over.
Yeah.
Like, forever. That's even if you're LLC'd, it's called piercing the corporate veil.
Oh, easily.
Because if you don't follow the LLC protocol by law and show that you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, they'll come after you for everything. It doesn't matter. You're not protected anymore. That's piercing the corporate veil.
And you can charge more, though, because I use it as a selling point. Because if someone's like, well, I got a guy that told me he would do this for X, I'm like, well, that might be true. But my company's fully insured. That means if somebody comes onto your property, they slip and fall and break their arm, you're not paying for it. Because if they don't have insurance, your homeowner's insurance is on the hook. For somebody being in your house and somebody getting hurt. I have workman's comp, I have liability insurance, I have umbrella insurance. Like, I have insurance. So if something happens, you don't have to worry. By hiring us and paying $25 extra or whatever it may be, and like, you're going to be safe, and like, that can be a selling point in themselves, because I've had guys get hurt on the job, and it's like, if I wasn't insured, they could easily. I had a guy fall through a ceiling. Why he was in the attic in the first place is a different story, and then doesn't stand on the joists when he's up there, but he goes right through somebody's ceiling.
Did he fall through on the ground?
Through.
Oh, did he? I had someone who fell through up to their hip.
Oh, that's happened numerous times. This guy fell all the way through.
It was
and
like
then
the
onto their
Jumanji
couch.
scene. Do you remember Jumanji? It was what the
Christmas Vacation, when he just falls and he's he's stuck on the bunk bed up in the attic. But I had that guy fall through the ceiling, and it was like, this sucks. Luckily, he didn't really get hurt, but it's like, I paid to repair the ceiling, and I paid to paint the ceiling, and we cleaned up the mess. And it's like, you go hire some dude off of Craigslist or some guy that's like on Facebook talking about how he's going to undercut everybody because he's so good at business. It's like, that guy's going to do that, and he's going to be like, I'll fix it, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
And you're never going to see him again.
That's it.
So that's my sell point.
Or he'll just sue you. That can definitely happen, and that has happened.
That's true.
He'll just sue you.
That's true.
You're the one that hired me, and you got hurt. It was an unsafe, and it doesn't matter. You got hurt. You're not winning.
And if you have employees, you get insurance.
Get insurance.
I've told this story before.
And if you don't want to get the insurance and you can't afford it, whatever it is, then maybe you shouldn't be in business right now. Maybe you should be, I don't know, saving up for. I don't really know. Like, are you a serious business or not? Are you know, like?
Yeah. Well, so I've told this story before.
Do you want to do this or not?
I've told this story before, and like when you have employees, this is why insurance is important. We worked with a large property management company. They had a lot of reps that worked there, and they had a ton of homes. So they would send us a list of homes. They'd be like, we need these cleaned out. We get to, you know, they send it to us. It's like 123 East Main Street. We show up, and there's a lockbox on the door. Lockbox doesn't work. They call the office, and the office is like, hold on. And then we call the property management company. The property management company says, look, we got to turn this thing this weekend, break a glass. I don't care. Just get in there and clear it. Because the guys are like, I can see the junk because like he walked around the house and he sees the pile of stuff in the basement. Because there's like a door to the basement. So they're like, perfect. Break the pane on the glass, get in, clean it up. We'll deal with the damages. They do it. Everything's good. The next day I get a phone, like my manager gets a phone call and he calls me and they're all pissed because they're like, we told you we needed it cleared out. And I was like, I remember talking to my manager, like, did it? He's like, yes, I saw the guys come back with stuff in the truck.
Don't tell me it was the wrong house.
It was the wrong house. Someone was moving into this house.
No,
and this was their new stuff.
Oh man.
And I love my guys to death, but they probably saw it and they probably were like, that doesn't look like junk, but we're just here to do a job. They do the job, and luckily there was some nice stuff, and they took some of it home, but the rest of it got trashed. Then we get that call, and it turns out it's like, now I got to call the homeowner and tell him, hey, I broke into your house, and I stole all your stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I had to file it through liability, and it sat in courts for 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, because like this guy turned out to all of a sudden he's like, yeah, I had a box full of cash there. I was like, of course you had a box full of cash sitting in your basement of the home you didn't live in, but whatever. Well, but yeah, like that's again, it's like mistakes are gonna happen, and it's like you don't want to be on the hook because they'll come after your LLC, they'll come after you, they'll come after your house, they'll come after whatever they want, because if they see blood in the water, they're gonna come, and it's like mistakes are gonna happen.
Yes.
Especially if you, and it's like that's why I have more horror stories probably than I have funny stories because I've been in business so long. It's like the amount of times like my main guy will call me and he'll be like, I got one for you. And he's like, and we actually have never heard this one before. And I'll be like, there's no way.
There's no way.
There's no way you're about to tell me something I've never heard. And he was like, one time, this is about 2 years ago, and he calls me, he's like, I got one, and you're not going to believe this. And I was like, there's no way. And he goes, yeah, the guys went to a job and they let someone with a front loader load the truck, right? With stone.
Oh. Well, that'll get heavy fast.
That'll get heavy really fast. But the front loader loaded one side.
Oh.
So all the stone was on one side of the truck. As soon as that truck went up, the truck tipped sideways, fell over, twisted the chassis, the entire thing. I remember sitting there thinking, one, it sucked because it was almost a brand new truck. But two, it was like, I don't even know how to get this out of here. Like, how do you tow this out when like the cab is like a little bit sideways, but the bed's all the way down and the whole thing's mangled and twisted? And
oh my goodness.
Again, great kid, wasn't doing anything on purpose. It's just like a slight oversight.
Yeah. Wow.
Have insurance. It's important.
Yes. Yeah. Do you? And my thing is just like, do you actually want to do this or not? Because there's only one way to do it, and it's the legitimate way. If you treat it as a side hustle and it's just you and only you, and you're taking on that risk, because still, if you don't have insurance, you're still taking on risk. So, but you can be the judge. Like, you are your own person. If you want to take that risk on, take that risk on. That's fine. But if you don't come asking me for business advice if you don't actually want to build a business.
I have one for auto insurance if you want to hear it. It's the worst one of all.
Shoot.
So, the year's 2019. Yep, 2019. I'm in my office in Tampa. I get a call from my operations manager in Raleigh. It's funny how I was in Raleigh. Raleigh comes to be a big part of my story. He calls me, says, "Hey, Chris and the guys got in an accident on the highway. It's a nothing burger. It's a tiny little fender bender. I'm just letting you know. I was like, all right, cool. And then he calls me back exactly 11 minutes later. And he was like, he's really flustered. And he's like, man, the guys just called me. Someone hit them while they were after the accident. Somebody hit them.
Hit the truck?
Hit the truck.
Yeah, okay.
And then I'm just, like, okay, get in the car, go there, figure out what's going on, just make sure everybody's safe. Call me if you need anything, because I'm 1,000 miles away. And I'm headed to lunch. And the guy that's with me is dicking around on Facebook. And all of a sudden, he's like, Casey, you need to pull over. And I was like, what? And he was like, pull over. And he's like, I guess he was part of a Facebook group to do with junk. And someone posted a photo. And it was like, this is why safety is important. And it's my truck on the news.
I was just going to say it got picked up, huh?
It got picked up by the news. What happened was, and I did not know any of this at the time, because we're all piecing it together, because like the guys on site didn't even have time to articulate what was going on, because they didn't even know what was going on to the manager. The manager wasn't there yet, and then he couldn't get there because traffic all of a sudden was really bad. What happens was, they're driving on the highway. The lady in front of them sees a tire in the road, like a tire scrap. And instead of swerving, instead of just running it over, she slams on her brakes. She stops on her brakes in the middle of the highway, and they just and they just like nick the back of it. And then they back up, and then waiting for her to like get off to the side, because like, yeah, we hit you, but like, let's deal with this.
Yeah, exactly.
She gets out of the car.
Oh.
On the highway.
She
gets out of the car on the highway.
Not a good place to be.
She gets out of the car on the highway, and the guys, they're telling me the story. They're waving at her like, what are you doing? Get in the car, get in the car. And she's like just ignoring them, right? She's not listening. And she like kind of goes around to the back side of the car, and like that's the last bit they could remember. There was a truck driving down the highway carrying used oil filters from AutoZone, doing 70 miles an hour. The guy wasn't paying attention, drives right into the back of our dump truck at 70 miles an hour. Our truck instantly whips, hits her, and she's gone. They couldn't find her. She went airborne. And then his truck flips, and the oil filters catch on fire, and his truck explodes.
You must be joking.
I'm not kidding. And my guy, like the kid driving was 19 years old, and he could hear the man dying, screaming to death as he's dying in the car. And the truck explodes. Like it's a massive inferno. And then these cops come and all this, and that's what the time he was calling the manager, and he's freaking out. And then it's like, they're like, well, who's in this car? And they're like, the lady. And they're like, what lady? They find her 35, 50 yards in the ditch in the other direction. And somehow, by the grace of God, she survived. But then eventually died of complications in the hospital like a year later. So she was in the hospital for a long time. It was extremely sad. But then I had to sit on depositions for years. For years, I had to sit on these depositions because the family was suing AutoZone, and it was like for like $35 million. And like they were trying to sue me because like they said my truck was the same color as the sky, and like that's irresponsible. So the guy couldn't see, like a little odd. But it's one of those things where it's like we got stuck in the middle, literally the middle of a terrible situation. And I had to exhaust my entire insurance policy for that year, and it hurt me for years to come because I had to exhaust the entire thing. But if I didn't have that insurance policy, 10, 15 years of my life would have all gone down the drain in one instant. So it's like, yes, it sucks to have to pay $1,500 a month per truck or whatever it may be, but it's like, I'm telling you, those things, like, I don't believe I've undertrained my guys or that I even have bad luck. It's like I've just been doing it a long time. So things are going to happen. And it's like if you do this long enough, things will happen. And it's and it's inevitable.
Yeah, you can't avoid it.
No. And so
because half the time it's not even you. You have nothing to do with it.
So don't bitch about insurance.
Happens.
Get the insurance.
Get the insurance.
If you want to be a serious person and you want to run a serious business, have insurance. That's not the cost you want to cut.
Correct.
I would put shittier gas in my car first before I would cut insurance because that's what's going to save you from someone taking your business away from you. if you want to keep what you've earned, make sure you have the ability, because like those, I sitting on those depositions and listening to those lawyers, you want to talk about they will come after you.
Oh yeah.
They want to take everything from you.
Yes.
And they don't care who you are. They don't care. I mean, like
they don't care your situation.
Way they were talking about this guy's family, and then like the way, like the demonization that I was watching, that I had to sit through, it was sad, but also it's like these people, like people are brutal, and they will try to take whatever they can from you. So that's an interesting question. But yes, I would advise that it's like, have insurance, because you might not always be the guy behind that wheel. Even if you are, it's like things can happen, and it's not your fault.
Yeah. Exactly. You need a light on that again?
Yeah, because you're
doing a lot of yapping. That's why.
I'm doing a lot of yapping. It's a good cigar though.